Welcome to Spectrum News Within the Week. I am Rachel David White, coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Tinubu says Nigeria's prosperity will derive directly from its diversity. Governor Moina commissions internal roads at Uruakwanandem markets, appreciates the people for the support in the last 100 days. Plus, President Zelensky replaces Ukraine's defense minister Reznikov. Details of the stories and many more in a moment. First, in the news within the week is Nigeria's leader, President Bola Tinubu, who is in India for the G20 summit, shared his conviction with Nigerians during an interaction with them. The president called on Nigerians to harness the country's rich diversity as a uniquely powerful tool for advancing prosperity and national development for the benefit of all citizens, emphasizing that the country's diversity must be leveraged to drive economic growth, innovation and social progress. Meanwhile, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, while addressing the students, explained that President Tinubu's foreign policy thrust included 4 Ds, with one of them being diaspora, which focuses on improving the quality of services that Nigerians in the diaspora receive at Nigerian missions.
We are not poor in knowledge. We are not poor in knowledge. We are not poor in human resources. We are not poor in capital resources. We are only poor in management and leadership. And that is why I ran for president, to help all of us mold the soul of our country in the right direction. We are not poor.
What we have in store for the diaspora as far as foreign policy is concerned, it is one of the 4 Ds. We'll be talking about 4D diplomacy. So that one of the Ds is diaspora, and it is focusing on, first and foremost, improving the quality of service that embassies are delivering for Nigerians living outside Nigeria.
Earlier, foreign business magnate Tony Elumelu told pressmen that Nigeria was the best place to invest in a better Nigerians is one of the best bets anyone can never make, citing Nigerian success in all countries of the world. Away from that, the Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal during a week affirmed the election of President Bola Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress APC on whether the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) was right to return Tinubu as the duly elected by the majority of lawful votes cast in the February 25, 2023 poll. The tribunal held that the petitioner of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and its flag bearer Atiku Abubakar did not successfully prove the allegations against the ground and indeed all the grounds in their petition. Justice Haruna Samani, leader of the 5-man panel, said the petition accordingly lacks merit. However, on the issue of Tinubu's conviction and the issue of his dual citizenship, the tribunal again held, like it earlier did, that these issues were incompetent and liable to be struck out, and some were indeed struck out. Meanwhile, the Nigerian's leader, President Bola Tinubu, within a week welcomed the judgment of the tribunal with a sense of responsibility and preparedness to serve all Nigerians, irrespective of all diverse political persuasions, faiths and tribal identities. Reacting to the judgment, the president called Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), as well as Peter Obi of the Labour Party (LP) to support his administration. Tinubu, who is in India for the G20 summit, recognized the diligence, undaunted foreigners, and professionalism of the five-member bench led by Justice Haruna Somani in interpreting the law.
It's been a very, very strong and emotional journey for all of us, struggling for democracy, truth, and justice for all. Today, we give kudos to the judiciary for their indefeasible commitment to rule of law and to humanity. Thank God Almighty for guiding us this far and protecting us. With your support, joys, and adulation, the theme for Nigeria is for us to pull Nigeria up.
In the meantime, the Vice Presidents Kashim Shettima and the All Progressives Congress APC National Chairman Abdullahi Ganduje had held the judgment of the Presidential Election Petition Court. Shettima, who spoke with journalists after the judgment, said the judgment has shown that the voice of the people cannot be silenced. He said democracy is the winner, urging the petitioners to join President Bola Tinubu in the task of national unity.
Well, Daniel has come to judgment. Today is a great day for Nigeria. The Nigerian judiciary had proved itself to be the guardians for justice and fairness against the sirens of deception. It's a battle between the will of the people and the forces of misinformation and disinformation. But democracy has finally triumphed. Like the bird phoenix, it rises from the ashes, resolute and unyielding. And in this age of information, discernment is our greatest armor, and unity is our strongest force.
This is the beginning of the maturity of democracy in this country. We have to thank the politicians, even the leaders of the political parties. We have to thank them for showing maturity, especially the presidential candidate for PDP and that of Labour Party. We have to appreciate them, we have to thank them, because they also do contribute to stability of democracy in this country. We have to inform you that we respect the judiciary, because if you see how 5 of them are unanimous on the verdict that they have shown this evening. And not only that, all the other consolidated, allegations, complaints by the opposition, all the 3 consolidated petitions have been exhausted, especially the issue of disqualification of our presidential candidate and his...
Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar's lead counsel, Chris Uche's son, has said the legal team has been ordered to appeal against a unanimous judgment upholding the victory of President Bola Tinubu. He made this known while briefing journalists on the decision of Atiku on the judgment. Uche, who expressed disappointment over the ruling, said his client and the legal team had expected the court would have given a verdict that would improve and encourage the use of technology in elections.
We have the instructions of our clients as soon as possible to go to the Supreme Court.
We have asked for the records.
So we have, today as you saw in court, we have asked for the records, we have asked for the judgment, we are going to apply for transmission of records because we have a very limited time to push this. So the struggle continues, and as it is said, it is not over
until it is over.
Well, the judgment.
In a related development, the presidential candidates of the People's Democratic Party, PDP Atiku Abubakar, in the course of the week, rejected the verdict of the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, PEPT, for the affirmed Bola Tinubu's victory at the February 2023 poll. While the court on Wednesday threw out Atiku's petition, that of his Labour Party LP counterpart Peter Obi and the Allied People's Movement APM, the flag bearer of the main opposition party says he is undeterred and he has instructed his lawyers to appeal the verdict. Atiku, while briefing journalists in Abuja, said the verdict was bereft of substantial justice. The former vice president said his decision to seek justice in court is grounded in his belief that the court are the guardians of justice. Abubakar highlighted his history of legal battles and his faith in the judiciary, emphasizing his commitment to continue the fight. He expressed deep concerns about the management of the last presidential election by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) and the impact it had on transparent elections conducted through technological means.
I am therefore here to tell you that though the judgment of the court yesterday is respected, it is a judgment that I refuse to accept. I refuse to accept the judgment because I believe that it is bereft of substantial justice. However, the disappointment in the verdict of the court can never destroy my confidence in the judiciary. Consequently, I have asked my lawyers to activate my constitutionally guaranteed rights of appeal to the higher court, which in the East is the Supreme Court of Nigeria. It is my conviction that the electoral process in Nigeria should be devoid of untidy manipulations and that the outcome of every election should be a perfect reflection of the wishes of the electorate. I am therefore here.
In the 2023 presidential election, Atiku secured about 7 million votes, representing 29.07% of the total votes cast. Bola Tinubu emerged as the winner with 8.8 million votes, constituting 36.61% of the total vote, while Peter Obi secured a third position with 6.1 million votes, accounting for 25.40% of the total votes cast. Meanwhile, the presidential candidates of the Labour Party in the contentious February 25th election, Peter Obi, had instructed his lawyers to immediately challenge the ruling of the 5-member presidential election petitions court PAPC, led by Justice Simon Haruna Samani. Obi disclosed the press conference in the commercial town of Onitsha, Anambra State, in reaction to the PEPC ruling, where he copiously acknowledged the court's contributions to due process and the seeming attempt to strengthen democracy. The presidential candidate noted that while the PEPC has rendered its judgment, it is not the final arbiter, as the responsibility now falls on the Supreme Court. He acknowledged the fact that judgment is not coterminous with justice, but they implored Nigerians to remain focused, steadfast, and peaceful, and to abide by the rule of law and understand that this matter has not reached its logical conclusion. In a separate development, the federal government within a week issued a 30-day ultimatum to illegal miners to desist from such activities in the country. Speaking during a press conference in Abuja, the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, explained that all efforts to formalize unlicensed miners into cooperatives have proved abortive. He further stated that the ministry will review all mining licenses in the country as part of its transformation agenda. This follows the minister's promise last week to sanitize the solid mineral sector by adopting more. The Australian High Commission to Nigeria, Lynn Johnston, in his office in Abuja, Alake had lamented the impact of illegal mining while pledging to address the situation. He also promises to give priority to investors in the sector in order to improve the economy and create employment opportunities. On her part,